Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into the absolutely wild world of meme coins. So, how do you tell what's a real opportunity and what's just dangerous hype? Well, let's get into it.
To really get what this world is all about, we've got to start with a pretty crazy story from December 10th, 2025. It is the perfect example of just how fast and how dangerous this market can be.
I mean, just picture this for a second. You wake up, you're scrolling through your phone, and bam, one of the most powerful people in crypto is suddenly shilling some random coin you've never even heard of. That's exactly what happened, and you can bet the market went into an absolute frenzy.
And what happened next? Oh, it was a textbook pump and dump, playing out in real time, in just a matter of minutes. The hacked account creates the hype, the price goes vertical, tons of everyday traders pile in because of FOMO, and then the rug pull. The attackers dump everything, and the price just collapses.
And the numbers here, they're just insane. The attackers put in just under $20,000 to buy up all the MUBARA coins beforehand. Then, with that one fake post, they created a buying panic, sold into it, and walked away with about $55,000 in profit, all while leaving everyone else holding basically worthless digital dust.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, how on earth does this happen so easily? And why are these scams, which seems so obvious after the fact, so darn effective in the moment? It really all comes down to the anatomy of hype.
It's the classic pump and dump. I mean, this is one of the oldest tricks in the financial playbook. The whole idea is to create a bunch of fake hype to pump up the price so the people behind it can dump their bags and cash out. The only difference is that in crypto, this happens at warp speed.
And the psychology behind this is absolutely fascinating because it preys on our most basic emotions. You see a fake endorsement from a name you trust, and boom, it feels legit. The price starts rocketing up, and that fear of missing out, that FOMO, it just takes over. Your rational brain pretty much shuts down.
So let's be really clear about this. When your only reason for buying something is a post you saw online or some influencer yelling about it, you're not investing. You're gambling. Plain and simple.
All right, so if chasing hype is just a roll of the dice, what's the alternative? Well, it all comes down to one thing: learning to separate the market noise from the valuable signal. And this right here, this is the perfect way to think about it. The noise is all the loud, distracting stuff. The hype on Twitter, the influencers screaming to the moon, that gut-wrenching FOMO. But the signal, that's the real story. That's the cold, hard data on the blockchain. Who's actually buying and selling? Is there any real money, any real liquidity behind this project? And this is where data intelligence platforms are, frankly, a game changer. Instead of just guessing, you get to see under the hood. You can track where the tokens are actually going. You can watch what the big players, the so-called whales, are doing. You can even get an alert if the project's developers start selling off their own tokens, which, by the way, is a massive, massive red flag.
Yeah, our source material really nails it when it says the goal of these tools is to transform all that cryptic, confusing noise into signals you can actually act on.
Okay, let's get practical. How can we take the hard lessons from that MUBARA and turn them into a checklist that can actually help us make smarter moves in the future?
All right, this is your new playbook. Step 1, verify. Just don't trust a tweet, okay? Do your own digging. Step 2, investigate the fundamentals. Use those data tools to check things like wallet distribution. You don't want just a few wallets holding all the coins. Step 3, be wary. If you see a price spike that looks too good to be true, it probably is. And finally, step 4, use alerts. Let the tech do the work for you and warn you when something fishy is going on.
So after all this, what's the big takeaway? Is the lesson just to stay away from meme coins forever? Well, not necessarily.
Look, the real goal isn't to eliminate risk. I mean, that's pretty much impossible in these markets, right? The point is to change how you think. It's about going from being a gambler who's just betting on hype to being a smart, calculated speculator who uses actual data.
And that really brings us to the most powerful piece of advice in our source material. It's simple, but it's everything. Combine your caution and your enthusiasm with real data-driven intelligence.
Which leaves us with one final question for you to think about. In a world that is just so full of digital noise, of hype, and of people trying to trick you, how are you going to find your signal?